Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Son of Mars titled Flip. And if we switch over to here we have ourselves a track on the screen on YouTube and we're going to be checking out this track from start till finish, listening through it, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. I like the modulated guitar takes. Calypso drums?
He in the same place, fucking with the same hoes. He do the same shit, wake up, put on same clothes. From 46, nigga, on my wrist, touch it and it flip. Different bitch, like my other bitch. I'ma make them kiss. 100K on the 25th, made my mama rich. Say they love you, they don't really love you. Watch out for the switch. 46, nigga, on my wrist, touch it and it flip. Different bitch, like my other bitch. I'ma make them kiss. 100K on the 25th, made my mama rich. Say they love you, they don't really love you. Watch out for the switch. He really about that action, he a movie star. And you're really rich until you hate that caviar. Different color diamonds, he the avatar. Different color diamonds at the moon.
I like the different colored, I like the Avatar reference. I thought that was dope. It's nice use of wordplay there. The bass is hit. They're not overpowering, but I think they sing nicely with the side chaining of the drums and stuff like that, and things in general lay out pretty well in the freaksy spectrum.
Feelings are abused. Baton Rouge, she from Baton Rouge, howling me the blues. At the moon, yelling at the moon, make a loony tune. Coming soon, money coming soon, gotta make some room. Shawty be pressing me right, like yeah, I'ma book you a flight, but I don't do gifts. Big money, it come with a stick, grab body and put her in shift. Tokyo drift, and then send her back to the six. The niggas that think she the shit, don't know how to hit. Do push-ups and then with a brick, gon' think me for fucking with this. From 46, nigga, on my wrist, touch it and it flip. Different bitch, like my other bitch. I'ma make them kiss. 100K on the 25th, made my mama rich. Say they love you, they don't really love you. Watch out for the switch.
Watch out for the switch. They say they love you, they don't really love you. Watch out for the switch. So we're basically talking about the fact that our success and people are pretending to be happy for us when in reality aren't necessarily, that isn't necessarily the case.
Growling, but your feathers in the coop. What would Jesus do? Stuck up in my head, don't see it through. Since she 22, but deep up in her body, felt like new. Everybody straight to the cash, everybody slave to the cash. Money don't wait for your ass, make a nigga lost tall grass. Shawty throw waste for the cash, nigga split face for the cash. White meat case with the cash, black feel safe with the cash. From 46, nigga, on my wrist, touch it and it flip. Different bitch, like my other bitch. I'ma make them kiss. 100K on the 25th, made my mama rich. Say they love you, they don't really love you. Watch out for the switch.
I think we had 3 or something different verse sections and there were different angles approached, different vocal styles, or slightly different ways of rapping instead of vocalizing. Nice escalation there at the end. Okay, interesting. I liked it. I think that there's a lot to appreciate, like, genuinely within this track. We're going to talk about that more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Son of Mars titled Flip. I was reasonably quiet during this one because there was quite a lot going on. I didn't really feel the need to sort of talk over it too much. The song, as I understand it, like, there was a lot discussed. Like, there were lines about, like, the different sort of, like, avatar colors and, like, you weren't rich until you'd sort of tried caviar or something along those lines and stuff, and talking about making his mother sort of wealthy and stuff, and being aware of, like, being careful about people watching until they switch, which I assume is kind of connected to the whole idea of the whole flipping thing. So far as to sort of talk about what I think this track was about, like, as an overall thing, it'd be about, like, the rise of this musician in a career and the music industry and stuff like that. And basically coming to terms with the fact that the people around you might not necessarily be as real as you think they are. And, like, there was, like, a goofball later on, as I understand it, or something like that. The guy that was, like, kind of done, like, people make themselves look like goofballs or something like that. when they aren't true to you or something along those lines. I could be wrong. Feel free to let me know if I've mistaken things. I'm just sort of taking things as they come. There was a lot to take in. The vocals were great. I enjoyed the variety of different ways we phrased the lines rhythmically, the different approaches, different stanzas. There was a similar sort of emotional response throughout there. We were kind of sort of keeping cool, calm, and collected. There was definitely effort and sort of like put into kind of making it interesting for the listener through that variety there. We had some really catchy hook lines and melodies within those parts, like in the chorus and stuff like that, which kind of looped really neatly with the synth guitars, bass, and drums and everything else going on in the arrangement. It seemed like we understood the fundamentals of like songwriting, music theory, and composition and stuff like that, and we wanted to kind of like connect our story that we were telling, which I assume is true to the situation that Son of Mars is in, and kind of apply to their own space within the industry that they're in as they sort of rise up. And I suppose it's also just a warning to anyone around them to not kind of like take them for granted, and that he's keeping an eye on them. But I think that the way we voiced things with different positions in the stereo field occasionally as well, there was evidence of vocals being the focal point and the most interesting thing we had there, or the thing that we wanted the listener to pay attention to. That's not to distract or detract from the effort put into the backing, the motif, the beat in the background, which I think was actually really good. I appreciated the effort with the guitar takes, the lo-fi aesthetic, with some of the sort of modulated kind of bendy synths that we had there with an interesting filter, like a vinyl filter or something like that. With the basses and drums coming in, I was expecting it to be like an even amount of bars, or like a group of 4 amount of bars coming into it, but I think we came in like 1.5 times through. I don't know how to really explain it in a way that makes sense in short form, but like it was just an unusual place that we came in with the verse in a way I didn't necessarily expect it structurally. But I liked the fact that we came in a bit earlier than I was expecting. I liked the fact that we kept the listener guessing, because even in a 2-minute 56 song, with this right in the middle of the 2-4-minute sweet spot, a lot of songs are coming out nowadays that are less than 2 minutes. So it's really important to make sure when you make music that it's compelling and interesting for the listener. I think that we had that there for the most part. I think that the intriguing way of like presenting these instruments, playing the arpeggiated melodies and such with like a kind of wistful, almost melancholic nature to it in some parts there, never becoming too upbeat or positive. It was kind of, it had a sense of chicness to it. It was really kind of, it knew itself and it was comfortable with itself. With those synths, like kind of making it sort of like warm and fuzzy with the tone of them, with that filtering. The guitars, with the extensions and the harmonies with those arpeggios and broken chords, providing a sense of sort of like sophistication within the harmonies that existed. The bass there accenting things nicely in the low end and not pumping into the mix a little bit, but not too much. And the drums with an interesting sort of like mixture of different sort of like snappy clappy kind of stuff with like the hi-hats and the kicks, providing a very kind of familiar yet like you can definitely sort of like you're definitely down with it. It's a great sort of like way of having the drums sometimes as opposed to all the time. I like the fact we didn't have the drums as a constant. I like the fact that we take away instrumental layers and then add them with a natural sort of bell curve as we went throughout the track. That was kind of cool as well. There might have been other instruments in the mix that I'm forgetting at the specific point in time, but as that does happen, there's often a lot of sub layers in tracks like this. But I think I've got the main components down, and when they all came together in a song which had they had a fair few chorus or hook lines there, kind of iterating back to that really catchy melody there. That was I genuinely enjoyed listening to it. It was well done. It had sort of like a legato, almost portamento sort of quality to it, with the variety of different sort of rhythmic and verbal phrasings in those verse stanzas. You just had a track which is nicely fleshed out. I mean, like the theme outside of the instruments and the structure, as I mentioned with the chord choices there, which had a similar, I mean, it stayed within the same sort of key signature the entire time. There weren't any weird sort of accidentals or chromatics into it, so we weren't trying to anything too experimental or avant-garde, but I don't think that was a bad thing at all. I liked the kind of calypso drums or whatever they're called at the start. I want to say marimba. I'm not sure. I would have to double check the instrument. That's one instrument I forgot actually was at the start, which I liked. I really appreciate the tone of it. It was very nice and fresh, and it was a sound I wasn't expecting. As a lot of the time with percussion, it's often in like rap and hip hop, it's very much kind of, oh, you just have like kick and claps or snares or hi-hats or whatever. Maybe some occasional tom fills and like sort of drum kit sample kind of stuff, or maybe some sort of fizzy other cymbals. But to have some melodic percussion in there was kind of dope as well. But yeah, the theme, getting back to that, I think it maintained a sense of sort of calm, sort of controlled equilibrium to it that allowed us sort of more evenly take in the subject matter that was being discussed in there, a lot more than what I think I concluded with. I think there was a lot more nuance to it, but that, offers the ability for multiple listens there, which I welcome if you enjoyed the track. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering on top of that, though, is like the icing on the cake at this point, right? Because a lot of the stuff we've got things really quite well tied up. I think if there was anything I was going to say about the track, I'm wondering if the vocals are a bit too present in the mix. It's something where I'm wondering if we could just, before like an album release or like an EP release, just double check the leveling of the vocals there. We could have just potentially put some of those vocals at down 0.5 dB in the mix if we'd sort of listened to it in mono. But then if it's fine if we wanted the vocals to be that present. It's just basically a transparency thing on my part. I think that aside from maybe lowering the vocals 0.5 dB in the mix in certain parts, I think they did sit quite nicely with the sort of guitar synth takes there, the bass and the drums, the clips of drums, etc. Like the marimbas, everything was reasonably well leveled, and we had no red resonant frequencies in the frequency spectrum. Things were nice and wide in the stereo field with different positions of stuff as well. Things just wasn't in the middle or always around the side. You had range there and variety. There was dynamic range. Things were not the same loudness all the time, which I appreciate as well, because if the track is the same loudness all the time, it can just become quite boring. You need peaks and troughs. As much as you might want the intensity of it, it can be nice to have range. And even in a shorter track, because this isn't a long track, but it's nice and loud without pump, so the bus compression limiting is handled. I do think that it's a really fantastic first impression to Son of Mars' music, because that is my review of this track from an act named Son of Mars, titled Flip, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and their YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.